look at a song again, one that was written by Dottie Rambo, and a lot of songs that she wrote. I can tell she really put her heart into it, and I believe she did with this one. Song entitled, and we sing it here, If That Isn't Love. She goes by talking about Christ leaving heaven. Can you imagine leaving heaven and coming to earth? We strive to go from earth to heaven, but to leave the splendor of heaven to come to this world and endure the hardships as a man or as a human being, as Jesus Christ did. And she goes by saying this: He left the splendor of heaven, knowing his destiny was the lonely hill of Golgotha, there to lay down his life for me. Then she talks about his death and the process and his love while hanging on the cross. We talk about loving our enemies, but this is the prime example of how Jesus acted upon the cross toward the enemies that were there, that put him on that cross. And the attitude that he had, always showing love. Even in death, he remembered the thief hanging by his side. He spoke with love and compassion. Then he took him, being the thief, of course, to paradise. When I read that, so many things come out to me or come to my mind. One of the things is that obviously at that time, what the thief had done was worthy of death. Therefore, he was crucified. But while he was on that cross, Jesus remembered him because he remembered Jesus. He acknowledged that Jesus was the Christ and asked Jesus for basic forgiveness. And Jesus forgave him and told him that today he would be with him in paradise. Jesus remembered the thief. The thief remembered Jesus. And the chorus goes on to say, if that isn't love, the ocean is dry. Have you ever thought the ocean would ever be dry? How many gallons of water in the ocean? No man will ever answer that question. Only God knows. If Christ's love for us on the cross isn't love, then there's no water in the ocean. How many stars are there in the sky? If Christ's love for us on the cross is not love, there's no stars in the sky. How many birds there are that fly? If that isn't love, heaven's not real. And then she points out, if that isn't love, heaven's a myth, but there is no feeling like this that is manifested through the love of Christ. If that isn't love. And I added words to this as we read it, but let's read this chorus one more time and we'll end with that. Let's read verse 2 and then the chorus. Even in death he remembered the thief hanging by his side. He spoke with love and compassion. Then he took him to paradise. If that isn't love, the ocean is dry. There's no stars in the sky, and the sparrow can't fly. If that isn't love, then heaven's a myth. There's no feeling like this, if that isn't love. The next time that we sing that song, I hope it has greater meaning to you than it has before. That you can remember the words of that as we reflect upon the love that Christ gave for us on the cross and think of Him this morning. It's about Him. The Lord's Supper is about Him. It's centered around Him. It's our service to Him. It's our remembrance of Him. It's about Him. Let's remember that this morning.